Yeah, I would appreciate y'all's help getting some information out to our fan base in Austin and Central Texas. We've got a quality opponent coming in here tomorrow night, one of the only undefeated teams left in the country at 5-0. I think there's around 50 or something undefeated teams out of 350 Division I teams, or whatever that exact number is, so quality team. This time of year in college basketball, a lot of our students are gone. Thanksgiving break, and ultimately it'll be Christmas break here in a few days, the semester break after finals. So we have lower level seats available for a game-by-game basis, just like we've had everywhere I've coached over the years. The deal here in Austin right now, until we can get this up to date, Jase and I were just talking earlier, they got the World Wide Web these days, www dot and that kind of stuff, but we're not quite there yet, I don't think, with this. You have to actually call in the ticket office. The ticket office is 512-471-3333, 471 Larry Bird, and you can buy those lower level seats that are normally the primetime seats where the students sit. They're selling some of them, I think $10 a seat, so more than reasonable. Want to make sure our fan base knows that, to sit in some great seats. Not only this game, Thanksgiving break, but several of the games during the semester break where we don't have our students in Austin. We're selling those seats, so can't get them online. Jase is going to take care of that. Jase does a lot around here. He's already got his degree. He's in charge of our defensive transition. He's in charge of a couple psychologies of our graduate assistants and our freshmen. But I'm also going to put him in charge of these tickets. Our fans need to be able to get online and get those tickets and not have to call. So Jase is going to work on that.
Yep.
Also, appreciate just getting the message out. We're proud to be consistent with our students and keep our word. We're having the party at the tower. You guys remember the history of that. We said, hey, if we sell out the student section, lower bowl, first game we coach here, opening night, we'll throw the students a party. Well, we've not only done that one time, it's my understanding we've done that all 3 home games in the Irwin Center. It's been capacity, lower level, so that's awesome. We continue to kind of break records here to ultimately do things that have never been done before. We've got to do a lot of things that have never been done before, so we're off to a great start. Party's going to be Monday, November 29th. Is that right, Scotty Mac? You guys know that's the Throwback Game in Gregory. Another thing that's really for the students. So we're going to throw the party at the tower. It's going to be 4:30 to 6. Just like all parties in my day, you'd kind of come to a party kind of casually late. Is that right?
Yeah.
Same consistency here in 2021. Same situation. Party starts at 4:30, and I think the live entertainment starts around 5. So from 4:30 to 6, the party at the tower. Beverages, I'll let you kind of print out however you want. Music, stuff for the students, give-outs, giveaways, free food, entertainment, and myself and some of the coaches and even some of the players will be at the party before the game. It's that important to us. Around 6 o'clock, we'll transition from the party at the tower, and we'll walk down those steps, or up those steps, down those steps into Speedway and all that, and then we'll head over to Gregory. When we get to Gregory with the students, there'll be another kind of pre-party outside of Gregory, and then we'll let the students in nice and early. There'll be a third party, 3 parties. Uno, dos, tres. We have the ability to throw parties around here. We just don't have the ability for people to get $10 seats online, but we're getting there. At Gregory, then, we'll have that game. So looking forward to having that game there. That's the party at the tower. That's Monday at, 4:30 to 6. All the students need their student ID. Student ID gets them in the party at the tower, gets them the free food, gets them the free giveaways. Got plenty of student seats at that game that night. Encourage students to get there early if they want. They're going to get a wristband. Then they can go to the party at the tower. Then they can come back, and they're guaranteed their spot in line. So we didn't want to have 2 competing things here. Hey, I'm waiting in line to get into Gregory. Can't go to the party at the tower. We've solved both. Jase was also in that committee. Jase is in a lot of subcommittees around here. So we've got that going on Monday, November 29th. Retro shirts, free stubs, barbecue, all sorts of stuff going on there. Thank you for this week's marketing announcement. Now we'll get to basketball.
Question for Jase. Go ahead, Ross.
The Northern Colorado game, you were chasing around their best shooter.
Yeah.
One shot in the entire first half. Is that a role that's been assigned to you, sort of go in and be a stopper kind of guy?
I mean, coming in, I knew Coach was, heavy on defense and wanted us to become even
better defensive players and not just look at myself as a shooter, look at myself as a complete player. And that's just what I've tried to embody this entire year, starting way back in the summer when they first got here. So just when shots aren't falling, being able to focus my energy on the defensive end and still contribute to the team like I need to has been really important for me.
Jase, how do you feel like y'all are several weeks into this now, and just how do you feel like you're kind of fitting in? Everyone's trying to figure out their role. How do you
Yeah.
feel like that's going for you?
I mean, it's going to be a work in progress. We continue to work in practice every single day, and with the amount of talent that we have on this team, we're honestly not too worried about the offense because it's going to come. Guys that are really experienced here, have many years under playing college basketball, so the offense is going to come. I just think we have to continue to build our identity on the defensive end and understand that, we have to be able to play hard, lock guys up, and be consistent, not just in the first half, but carry that into the second half. Jeff, in the back, please.
Jason, you just spoke about the experience on this team. It's one of the oldest groups I've covered. I imagine it's one of the most experienced teams you've been a part of.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to see that experience pay off in a game yet, and like it click, like, oh, this happened because we're an older group?
Yeah, I mean, when we go out there, especially I think the most eye-opening thing has been how we come out during games. Like, guys are able to get themselves ready before the game, coming out hot, coming out on the defensive end, getting stops, holding teams to honestly like some of the lowest halftime points that I've been a part of. So I think just like I was saying a little bit earlier, like building that and taking it into the second half is something that we need to continue to work on. That's been a big emphasis these past couple of days in practice, and we're going to come together and get that done.
Have you been a part of a team that focuses this much on the defensive end of the court? Like everybody I've talked to says what you just said, the offense will come. You seem bought in on the defense. Is that normal?
I think for most guys, I mean, most coaching staffs, I'm sure, are pretty hard on defense, but there's a different level of intensity here, a different level of passion that comes from the coaching staff and urgency that they're trying to instill into us. So we just have to continue to embody that, continue to have confidence that the coaches are here to win, and like we said, we're here to win, and we want to be the best versions of ourselves we possibly can. We can't do that unless we're playing hard on defense consistently, and giving it our all.
Raj, this isn't new for you this year, but you've blocked some shots for a guard this
Yeah.
year, but also in the past. Is that something you've always done, going back to high school, something?
Yeah, I see myself as a shot blocker. I mean, my injury kind of held me back just as far as my athleticism and like my one jump off my left leg. But I've always blocked shots throughout high school, my first couple seasons in college. So I see myself as that. But being able to kind of understand like verticality better, timing block shots, and just getting my bounce back has been something I've been working on. So I like showing that. I think I have pretty good timing. So being able to show that on the court is fun.
See that alone is you talk about different aspects of the game. I know that was a huge thing for you, is to branch out.
Yeah.
What else have you personally liked so far that is different or like an add-on?
I mean, just honestly taking charges more, being able to learn how to take them correctly. Something that we had a film session, we were emphasizing like being able to step up and actually like create that contact to take a charge. Sometimes I would just sit there and kind of wait for the guy to come into me instead of stepping up and creating that contact. Just finding different ways to make an impact on the floor on the defensive end, rather that be, ball pressure, being active with my hands, and also just being in the right place at the right time.
Taking the charge is psychological, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Being able
kind
to
of.
stand there and stand your ground. That's a psychological thing.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a huge energy boost for the team. It changes the momentum of the game. So, I mean, it's one of my favorite things to do. And then just seeing the energy that we have on the bench once you're able to take that charge makes you want to continue to do it for the guys that you're playing with. Mm-hmm. One last one for Jase. Jeff, in the back.
Is that new? I don't imagine a lot of basketball players love taking charges. Is that something you've always enjoyed?
I mean, I personally didn't take too many charges. In high school, I did because my coach was also kind of around the same like defensive mindset, taking charges and stuff like that. But in high school, I'm able to block everybody's shot, so that's kind of what I did. But yeah, just embracing those different aspects and expanding my game, being a complete player, and like I said, it gives us a huge energy boost, and you can feel it. So. Thank you, Jase. Yep.
Thank you. Chris, I guess the same question for you. Do you see him as that guy like you put in? I know the Colorado guy, I think he gave threes the previous game. Barely got any shots in the first half. Do you see Jase as that kind of guy?
Yeah, I think above all, I see Jase as a really intelligent guy with high IQ. A guy that basically, you tell what needs to be done, and then you help him with how to get it done, then he goes and does it. He's an analytical guy. You guys heard that interview. Not a lot of players can kind of verbalize that, but he's a smart guy. Basketball will not define Jase Febres. He'll be you guys will look up in X amount of years, and he'll be doing something great. But I do think he'll play pro basketball. I think maybe at a level higher than he might even understand, because he's a really smart player. Obviously, his shooting ability, gives him a chance to play in any game, anywhere. But defensively, it comes in different ways, and he does it in a. He's a competitive guy, but he's got such great poise and composure. You don't see him as like an outwardly, alpha guy, but don't get it twisted. He's very competitive and he's very smart, and he uses his intelligence, to become a better player.
Christian, I'm assuming do you rank guys in your mind, like this is our best defensive player, this is number 2, this is number 3, and is that how you assign guys on defense? Like, all right, their best shooter, our number 1 defensive player is on that guy. I mean, do you do it like that? Or
Sometimes, matchups is a big part of basketball. A lot of games just turn into matchups. Some games are more our defense against your offense, but you've always got to be prepared in the chess match if it becomes a matchup thing. So, yeah, that's important to us. I don't know if we sit around and rank 1 through 15, but we do talk a lot about we got to have some great defenders. And, you guys do it. It's a great kind of analytics or whatever they call it these days, but like, normally if you're going to win the Big 12 conference, you got to have a couple guys on the all Big 12 defensive team. To have a nationally ranked defense, you've got to have a couple individual pieces. I think teams have to have guys. Okay, I view myself like that. You look at last year's national champion. I think Mitchell and Vidal, they viewed themselves as that. We've had some great teams. That's how Tariq Owen saw himself. That's how Rajon Kelly saw himself. And so you got to have great individual pieces to have a great team defense. We just encourage the guys to view themselves like that. All players, most all players that come to Texas, they're going to have an offensive identity. They're going to be highly recruited guys, ranked guys, and whatever. But like, there's just something about valuing yourself and seeing yourself as a defensive player. And I think we're early in the stages here, but we've got some guys that are starting to flip it. And I thought Jase did a great job today verbalizing it. I mean, he's starting to see himself as a guy that can impact the game on defense on nights where the shot's not going down. From a coaching standpoint, that's really nice to see because I agree with him.
Yeah, Chris, I wanted to ask you about that upcoming game with Gregory. What was the importance in getting that set up in your first year here, and what are you hoping that game means to both the student body and your players?
Yeah, we've done that almost everywhere we've coached. We call it the Throwback Game. I just think first of all, it's special for a lot of people. Everybody that played in Gregory remembers going to games in Gregory, is interested in the tradition or history of the program. It's just a game that makes a lot of sense. We've had great success with the Throwback Games in the past, and I know everybody's excited about this one. Number 2, we have one of the coolest venues in all of basketball. I mean, Gregory Gym is it's an awesome place, and obviously volleyball has created a great home court for themselves in that gym. When I was in school here, we did summer camps at Gregory, and it's where we played pickup games in the spring and summer and off season. And so, it's just a cool basketball atmosphere. It's right in the middle of campus, gives us a great location to the dorms, and maybe we can attract a couple students that haven't been to a basketball game otherwise, but they come to the game and they say, man, I want to be a part of this. At Urban Center's not too far either. So just so many reasons why to do it. I think it's going to be awesome. I appreciate the season ticket holders and people's understanding. Everybody won't be able to get into this game, obviously, but I think everybody will be able to feed on the excitement of this. If it's my decision, which I hope it ultimately is, I'd like to play this game every year. I'd like to play one non-conference game in Gregory every year, and this year it's obviously the student game. Maybe in future years it can be different groups including the students. Always the students, but maybe bring some different groups. But this is year one to play this game. I know I went to the women's basketball game the other day in Gregory, which was an exhibition game. Just a great atmosphere. It feels right playing over there. So, we're proud to put this on the floor the first year, and hopefully the people appreciate all the work that went into putting this game on.
Did Vic tell you, I think they had some trouble with all the lines on the court? That game, is it something you thought about?
Yeah, it's
Bringing a team over there?
yeah, it's challenging, and we're going to play a great opponent, Jason Hooten, Sam Houston State. They're off to a great start this year, and always a contender in their championship race. A lot of history between Texas and Sam Houston, actually in Gregory. I think we looked at it the other day, 1940 or something. That was the last game that Sam Houston played Texas. So we wanted to bring in a state of Texas opponent for that game. All the throwback games have challenges, whether it be one year we didn't have running water in the locker room. The officials, they're not going to get their 5-star plush accommodations they're used to around here. So it's we're taking basketball back. It's going to be more like, Hoosiers, and it's going to be, like an NBA arena. So, there'll be some challenges. And obviously on the floor, we're going to tape it up the best we can. But the game's not about the floor, right? The game's about, honoring the past and uniting the family and getting the students on board.
So just to be clear, only people with the big ticket can get in?
Yeah.
Okay. And is there a pre-game draw on that, or you just come and show your pass and you're in?
Yeah, so students, it's going to be the combination of getting over there early in the day. We've already heard from some of the student groups talking about camping out the night before, right there on the not grass, but the concrete of Gregory. And then we'll just try to do the wristband deal so those students can still go to the party at the tower. If we end up getting into a capacity, I think they've got some plans to put some, I don't know if it's big screen TVs or whatever, outside the Gregory. The students can still kind of hang in and be like first come, one leaves, one comes in. So we'll just kind of see how it goes this first year. In terms of general people, I don't know. I know growing up in Irving, you remember Buddy Bell? Yeah, I stood in line at the Irving Mall to get Buddy Bell's autograph, and I think the Natural came out, and they said it was sold out and nobody could get in, but I got in somehow. So I bet there's probably some kind of basketball guy that's going to get into the game somehow, even though you're not supposed to, like back door open or something like that. I'm not supporting or condoning those behaviors, but I know when I wanted to get Buddy Bell's autograph and I wanted to see the Natural with Robert Redford, I figured out a way to get in.
So let me ask this question, but the quality of opponent for this type of game is, you're going to get pushback if you try to put Gonzaga in there, right? So how do you gauge the type of game you can put in Gregory?
I'm not going to go down that road because Sam Houston's a really good team. Jason Hooten's been coaching a long time. Right? They'll come in here with a team where if we don't play well, we won't win that game. So, but I understand, like if we get I don't know what you call it, what a BCS national name, the school is going to want to sell tickets at X amount. So, I don't know where we'll go with that. To me, what feels right is just a tradition, a Texas school, somebody that used to play in Gregory back in the day. But yeah, I understand. I think if we call Coach Few here in a couple hours and tell him we're going to play that game in Gregory, that's probably not going to go over well. But I do appreciate Jason Hooten. It was a phone call that we had to say, and Hooten's like, man, that's awesome. Anything that's good for basketball. In Lubbock we played a really good Abilene Christian team. You guys have heard about them around here, and they came and played us one year, and so we played some good opponents. But yeah, it's a good question. Where that game goes, I think it could go a million different directions. It just feels right to me playing one game a year on campus in that historic gym.
Sounds like you might feel like you should ask, like before you schedule it, you would ask the coach, maybe. Ask Jason.
Yeah, for sure.
Or Texas team?
All that stuff's in the contracts too, so nobody's gonna play unless they know time of the date, location, all that stuff. But yeah, I think it's somebody that has to understand kind of the history of the game, and because again, you start talking about locker rooms and everything that goes into it, parking, what have you. There's going to be some challenges, but to me, that's what makes it cool. It's a throwback game. It's a throwback game. It's not, I mean, it's going to be great. We might not even have Wi-Fi in there, so like, you might have to call the ticket office instead of going in. Yeah.
How excited are your players to play? Have they been saying much about it?
Yeah, we're one game at a time. We haven't even mentioned this to the guys, but I have no problem talking to you guys about it because I know these press conferences only happen so many times. But no, with the players right now, they know we got California Baptist coming in here, one of the only undefeated teams in the country. Good team.
Brian, last one, specifically on Cal Baptist, at least two extremely good foreign guys from Australia, and they've had some. You're right, they're playing really well. I was going through their stuff. What jumps out at you about them?
Yeah, so they're one of the stories in college basketball the last few years. This coaching staff's done a great job transitioning them from Division II to Division One. We've seen that in our state, whether it be Tarleton State, Abilene Christian did it. I was a part of one of those transitions at Incarnate Word when we went from NEI to D2, and they ultimately went to D1. And this thing hasn't taken them long. They competed for conference championship postseason year one. And so it's a really good team. They do have a lot of international. When you think of like a Gonzaga or a St. Mary's, Cal Baptist is right there. I think they're going to play 9 players in the game tomorrow night. And I think 7 off the top of my head are international players. They've got some guys that I think are on the NBA radar. Not to put all the, not pressure. I can't put pressure on an opponent, but not to put too much on a young player. But the freshman point guard special. He really is. He's leading the country in assists, guys. He's over 10 assists a game, 5 games into his college career. His brother's on the team. Those two guys can really play well together. But they have some Division I transfers. They have international players. They're really good. They have an offensive identity, shooting the three-point shot. There'll always be 4 guys on the floor that can shoot threes, sometimes 5. Defensively, they do a good job. They mix it up. I've seen them play 4 different defenses this year at least. Again, they're an undefeated team. It's a quality opponent. I think our fans will enjoy, the talent on their team as well. They got some guys that I think they'll play professional basketball, no doubt about it.
Todd, you have one last one. Coach, I don't know if you had a chance to look at the pictures from the fans when they're on the court after the Eyes of Texas, but they have a genuine sense of belonging, it looks like to me, if just looking at it. You talk about how important that was and that tradition of bringing them out and not just standing there with the Eyes, but actually being a part of it.
Yeah, it's been fun getting the students on the court. It's just, we got the job. We study it. Every job has a different code to crack. And I think here we got a really unique situation in the Irwin Center. Our student section's on both baselines, which brings a lot of positives. It really does, but also kind of some challenges. But I think to bring everybody together, it's created some excitement. I share your comment. I appreciate that. We've gotten a lot of nice feedback, whether it be emails from students. A couple students have dropped by the basketball office just kind of thanking us for that kind of new tradition. I think we're early in the stages. We're figuring out exactly how it looks, but it's, so far so good. I think it also encourages the fans to stay. Mac Brown said it best around here, right? Come early, wear orange, and be loud, stay late. Hopefully we get the program to the point where you stick around. It's important to support the team all the way to when the guys go to the locker room. Hopefully, most nights it's after a victory. From time to time when you run out of time on your home floor, it's also just a nice support to see your fans kind of hanging there with you and support you. That's an important relationship to us, our student body and our players. And we're just trying to do things. This is a small thing, asking them to join us on the floor after the game. But so far, so good. I think we got to work through some of the kinks of it. I think somebody, damn near spilled a draft beer on me after the first game, and I don't really like to dry clean the clothes after every game. I put them on right before the game and take them off right after the game, so you can normally get a couple wears out of them. But I had a little draft beer on me the other night, so I had to get it clean twice in 1 week. But we'll work through the kinks. I'd much rather have to be worrying about dry cleaning than worrying about how to fill the student section. So just things like that have been good to us. More ideas to come. We party at the tower, throwback game, bring the students on the floor after games. I don't know if you guys have been up, but there's a couple of gates where the students come in this year, and we've been greeting them at the game. We're doing some giveaways when they come in the game, thanking them for coming to the game. We basically want to create it almost like a red carpet thing. I'm a student. I don't go in any door. I go in my door, and there's some consistency and it just starts feeling good. And we're in the early stages of it, but a lot of positives. Hey, I want to thank everybody that's involved too. There's been a lot of work. You know, it's not just Lauren, it's the new basketball marketing. It's all the people that work with Lauren. It's the administration, all the way from President Hartzell down to our players. Our players have worked hard at this. They're promoting the games on their own social media brands. And so when you build a program and you build a fan base, it's not just the marketing or ticketing office. It's everybody working together. And I'm very appreciative of all the work so far. We look forward to a great, you know, this is a unique time of year right now, right? We got a couple games coming up with students, a couple without students. Then when we get into that semester break, we got to try to figure out how to have a home court advantage during that challenging time too, but we're working hard at it.
Thanks all.
Thanks.